Hello, everyone. I think many of you have heard the expression, lion, the king of beasts. But the reason why this is so is not definitively clear. Some people talk about grey wool and the majestic look, some people think they are the strongest cats, and some people remember that they have a prime and they rule there. But is that enough to make them seem like kings of beasts? Especially since there is an animal living next to them that would clearly disagree with this statement. And that's the buffalo. This compilation features some of the most epic battles of these creatures. I won't force my viewpoint on you, as I'm sure you'll draw your own conclusions after witnessing the lion and buffalo in action. Here we go. Probably the toughest part of assessing these animals is staying objective. After all, numerous factors can influence the outcome of a fight, including the animal's physical condition, age, health, and many other, sometimes less understood, factors. Nuances. As we can see from this clip, the main tactic of the lion, and in principle as well as other big cats of prey, is to grab the victim by the throat and hold it until it stops resisting. In the beginning, speed and flexibility come into play, and if the lion does manage to get a firm grip on the buffalo, it will try to take it to the ground. The thing is that because of its large mass, sometimes reaching 1 ton, the buffalo cannot get to its feet quickly. In this position, his sharp horns are no longer likely to do serious damage to the lion. Therefore, if the buffalo is pinned to the ground, it will almost certainly end fatally for him. The only thing that can help the buffalo when it is on the ground is the help of its fellows. Mutual aid is much better developed in them than in lions. Buffaloes often come to the rescue when their kin are in a desperate situation. Not all lions easily part with their coveted prey when it is so close by. They frequently pay a high price for their greed. I believe this lion will recall his initial flight for quite some time, and it won't be long until he recovers his health. From earlier episodes, you might have thought that in a one-on-one fight, the lion always triumphs over the buffalo. However, that's not true at all. This ragged lion has endured considerable harm and yet continues to attack the young bull. Maybe it has misjudged its own strength or is extremely famished. I cannot see any other reason for such reckless attacks. Ultimately, the buffalo left him lying on the ground and carried on with their business. However, strange behavior can also be observed in the boy wolves. As in the previous episode, it appears that the horned animal deliberately wishes to bid farewell to life. His kin repeatedly came to assist the buffalo, yet for some reason, he did not hurry to rejoin the herd. Perhaps he was severely wounded or utterly exhausted. Eventually, he was unsaved from distress and fell victim to a lion group. Quite peculiar behavior. Interestingly, this buffalo, in a similar situation, accepted help from a kin. The poor chap was attacked by a pride of 24 predatory cats. Yet, despite many bites, his will to live overcame fear. Shaking off the intruders, the buffalo found refuge in the forest. I believe we can cautiously assume that with at least 2 buffaloes, they can fend off attackers with a smart tactic. From the lion pride. This is not something that can be said for the lions, as the buffalo will easily chase them off like naughty kittens. In some situations, the lion's best option is to climb up a tree. While in relative safety, he also attempts to scratch the passing buffaloes. Annoyed by their inability to reach the lion in the tree, the buffaloes eventually leave the area. It is worth mentioning that retreating to a tree is sometimes the only escape option available for the lion, particularly when the cat is surrounded by buffalo, which is a rare occurrence, since the buffalo is significantly slower than the lion. This footage vividly demonstrates what befalls an unwelcome guest within the herd. The buffalo's sharp horns intermittently hurl the tormented cat high into the air. The lion's bones are fractured, and its internal organs are severely harmed. This day marked the lion's final moments. Naturally, there are instances where the buffalo are unable to rescue their own kind. If a pride has sensed blood in a victim, it will be extremely difficult to drive it away. Buffaloes, as a rule, quickly realize that it is useless to help their mate and do not get involved in the fight. They simply leave the place before there are more lions. Also, one should not forget that buffaloes are herbivorous animals. They are only interested in lions as a potential threat, not as a source of food. Buffalo are only interested in protecting themselves and their young, and sometimes have to stand up for their herd and territory. All their aggressive actions are primarily focused on driving away a dangerous cat. Lions, on the other hand, behave quite differently. The buffalo is indeed a very desirable target for them. To secure such a large trophy while minimizing the risk of injury, lions prefer to hunt these animals in groups. Essentially, they employ two tactics. Firstly, they push back or isolate stragglers from the herd, then they proceed to attack from all sides until the prey eventually surrenders. These tactics can be called active tactics. And there is also a passive tactic. When the buffalo actively resists, he is not killed immediately, but waits until he is weakened, watching him from the side. This may take some time, but this tactic is less traumatic for lions. It is worth noting that like other predatory cats, lions do not hesitate to attack young buffalo offspring. They attack both young animals with their parents and youngsters that have just broken away from the herd. I hope this video has helped you understand what the buffalo and lion are, what they are capable of doing in the field, and which one deserves to be called king of the beasts. This issue has come to an end. Don't forget to follow up to the channel so you don't miss new videos. Good luck!